Well, welcome yet again to another episode of the L&D Ninja Podcast. I am your host, Reggie Padilla. I'm so glad that you are here with me. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for tuning in. If this is your first time, a special welcome to you. Thank you so much for joining this podcast. This podcast has had a revival, a come back to life sort of deal. I stepped away for almost a year, and now I brought it back. There's going to be a new way of doing this podcast. It's not going to be as lengthy. I know, I know that for most of us, we want to sort of enjoy and learn more rapidly. So these are going to be 20-ish minutes long, but hopefully we can get a lot out of that. So if this is your first time or your second time, third time, and you haven't done so yet, please don't forget to comment, subscribe, share, and like. It means a lot to me. It helps this podcast grow and get in front of even more people. Now, this is the first time I'm doing this, so please bear with me. This episode is powered by learnforward.ai. Discover, design, and deliver with learnforward.ai. Unleash the power of AI to create, tailor, and optimize your learning products, providing an unprecedented seamless experience. LearnForward AI transforms the way you design education, making it easy in just a few clicks. Download it today for free on the App Store and on Google Play. Experience the magic of learnforward.ai. So there you have it. Download it today. It's a really, really cool application. You're going to get a lot from it. So I think, today we're going to talk about how sort of maybe continue the conversation that we started last time. And that is how AI is changing and will change learning and development. I had a conversation not too long ago here in a local coffee shop with another L&D professional, and the person was really concerned with how AI will change L&D and what that means for our careers. And so today, I want to sort of give you my 2 cents on how I think AI can benefit L&D, and especially L&D professionals, and what you and I can do sort of to get up to speed. But the reality is that learning and development will never be the same again. It's just rapidly changing. We saw it first with COVID, and everybody working from home, and what that meant for you and I working in the L&D space, how we had to adapt to that. And then, of course, people remaining in their homes and what that means for remote work and remote learning and development, and that sort of dilemma that we're facing. We had to face the whole issue of quiet quitting and people not being as motivated, as engaged. There's just a lot of changes happening, and now you throw in the mix, what AI is doing and how it has been sort of unleashed on the masses, and how it's impacting learning and development. And I think there's a couple of ways that we can look into this. We can see it with pessimistic eyes and say, well, it's the end of the world. What does that mean? And you can sort of guard yourself. But in my opinion, it's going to be a losing battle. I think that there's no turning back. There's no way of putting the genie back in the bottle. There was a conversation in government not too long ago where the kings of tech came in to discuss AI. And you have people, all over the place. You have, people like Zuckerberg saying that, nothing to fear there. And then you have Elon Musk saying it's going to be the end of humanity if we don't control it. And so there's a lot to unpack with regards to this new technology. But what I think you and I need to focus on is, how do we leverage it, right? We can control what we can control. There's no sense of panicking or trying to decipher what's going to happen in the future. We just don't know, right? We don't know what kind of impact ultimately this is going to have on on corporate America, on learning and development, on higher education, on education as a whole. But there are I think, some signs of how AI can be helpful, and I think how we can leverage AI to help people become better, right? And so I don't I don't know about you, but one of my biggest passions is doing what I'm doing now. Okay, so I love discussing with people and training and coaching and really motivating individuals to become better in their professions and school as human beings. And so, this is where the passion for most, I think, L&D professionals lie. And so, putting that as a backdrop, I think that there are some things that we can leverage with AI that can be incredibly beneficial. And so I'm going to go down a list here of things that I believe can be very beneficial with using AI in learning and development. This has been not only trial and testing on my own and things that I've discovered in the last, I would say in the last 6 months, 9 months, but other people are talking about it too. And I after I share with you, please share with us, with the community, how else you see AI either benefiting or hindering our profession and perhaps in a larger picture, the lives of people in as employees or as students. Interested to hear your comments on that. Now, but one of the things that I've seen AI as an enormous tool, and I share with the audience about DocuGrade. Is an application that I developed that leverages ChatGPT, the power, the engine of ChatGPT, to automate some tasks, and one of those tasks is grading. Listen, at the end of the day, if you insert your voice and what you're looking for into an application that can help you sort of get through some of those tedious tasks that educators face, it can free your time to do the things that you really like to do, like talking to students and educating and coaching and mentoring, right? Because that task is been not eliminated, but it has been alleviated from your things to do. And so I think that grading is going to be one of those things that I hate to say, I don't know if in the future professors will ever grade papers again, but I think AI can help you, I believe, do that better and faster. Okay, so things like grading or providing assessments or providing feedback, again, it becomes your sort of your assistant, right? Your graduate assistant. I was talking to somebody not too long ago, and I was saying, look, as an adjunct professor, we're paid very little and we're asked to do a lot. And those who are tenure professors, they have grad students who grade for them, right? And so what they have to do is research. They spend their time researching and teaching and lecturing and doing those things. And then they have graduate assistants that they supervise, but they do the grading, right? They do the test scoring. They do those things. And so I think what AI can do is sort of give everybody, or I should say adjunct professors and other educators, anybody in that field, that same benefit of having an artificial intelligent graduate assistant, so to speak, grade for and provide feedback for those professors. I don't know what you think. Leave me your comments. Let me know what you think. But I think that by doing so, again, the educators are, they can free up their time to do the things that you really enjoy to do. you can think about curriculums and provide personalized instruction, and that's going to be the next point that I want to talk about. But it gives the educators the ability to create specific, poignant, learner centric instruction. Okay, that because we all did learn differently, and we're all in different we're in different stages, and so it would help. It's going to help professors or educators or L&D professionals sort of tailor make their instruction. As any coach would, right? In a professional sport. I mean, QBs are coached in a certain way, running backs are coached in a certain way, linebackers are coached in a certain way, and they're all part of the same team, right? And so I think that this will allow educators to be able to do that, and I think manage the workload even better. I used to kid I used to kid people that on the weekends I would go into these what I call grading marathons. If you're an educator, a professor, an adjunct professor, you know what I'm talking about. And those were those are tedious, right? I mean, these were like, at least for me, 16 hours on Saturday, another 12 hours or so on Sunday, and by Sunday evening I was gassed. Applying AI has cut that time down significantly, at least for me. And so instead of spending 16 hours, now it takes me about 4 hours, 5 hours to do sort of the same workload. Again, it doesn't eliminate the work, but it helps you. It helps you maximize your time. And then what you do is, when you have students, you sort of know who they are. You can use the feedback and the grade graduate assistant has given, and then you can apply your own personal message to that particular student, right? And by the way, you need to check. Okay, so it's not like you copy and paste and there you go. You sort of have to see. You have to glance at the grade and glance at the student's work and determine whether or not it's on point. And what I have found is that about 97% of the time, it's right on point. I think I said this the last time. I tend to be a much tougher grader than my AI graduate assistant by a couple of points on average. So, but it frees my time to, encourage students to continue their work, to stay motivated, to continue pressing forward. So that's, I think, one of the benefits. The second benefit, which I alluded to, was personalized learning experiences. Listen, for those of you who know me and know my story, I am all about instructional technologies and distance education, primarily focusing on learning management systems. And so that's been my bread and butter for the last 16 years. And I've seen the benefits, and there's some amazing benefits with having a learning management system. The one of the drawbacks, and if you've been in the space for a while, either on the learner side or on the L&D professional side, that there's a lag there, right? And so you sort of assess what's happening in the organization. You meet with stakeholders, you create the content, you test the content, you deploy the content, and there's a lag, right? It could be that by the time you deploy the content is no longer that relevant, or you deploy it, people are in a different time and space when that is being deployed. And so it's not as engaging as it could have been. And so you're sort of you're playing catch up all the time. And so where I see AI helping L&D in this department is, my goodness, if you design a tool or the AI to sort of keep pace with how that individual is progressing, and taking it a step further, sort of like a personal coach, that AI understands the individual, understands the goals of that individual, understands their strengths and weaknesses, then the AI can adjust and give that individual real-time content to get better, and also provide feedback. Now, if you think this is like science fiction, it isn't. And in fact, free plug here, my company, we're working on an application called Learnfinity, which is basically it has that type of capability. You have your own personal corporate coach, L&D professional, in the palm of your hand, right? Now, it's not going to eliminate us as L&D professionals, because again, the touch that we can give, the experience that we can give, the real life applications that we can give, AI cannot do that. At least not right now. Okay, so our roles are still there. But imagine if in real time the software is giving the individual, the feedback they need to get better, suggesting what type of content or courses or skills or knowledge they need to develop in order to get better. And this is an ongoing thing. I think it's revolutionary. Talk about, the corporation, you understand your goals better than anybody, and so you work that into the technology, and then everybody has their own, based on their style, based on their level, based where they are, based on their on their skills, based on all those variables. The AI is helping that individual grow, okay, different from that other person or the other person, and so that is mind blowing. If you're interested in learning more about the application we're working on, I cannot release it here for you to see. It's still in the works, but I do welcome for you to give us your information. Go to the website. I'm putting the link here, or the address. Give us your information, and we'll keep you updated. And perhaps maybe you and your organization can become beta testers when we launch this. Hopefully soon. Okay, so it's in the works. We're very close. So we've talked about automating those tedious tasks that we all need to do, especially if you're in higher education or education as a whole, and then personalize learning experiences. You take just those two, and there's plenty of other benefits, but if you just take those two benefits, think about what that would mean, not only to that individual, not only to the learning and development professional, but what that would mean to the organization, right? The agility the organization can have, the real-time tools and things that they could have at their disposal are immense. It certainly gives them a competitive advantage, right? Because they're not responding to the sort of the needs of the organization with regards to learning and development. They're being very proactive and in some ways prescriptive, right, based on where the individual is. So again, it's huge. It's not going to go anywhere, and we can talk more about this later on. But I just wanted to share those two things with you. I'm very curious to find out what you think. So please leave me your comments. Again, subscribe to the channel, like, comment, share, and let me know what you think. Do you think that I'm overreacting here, or do you think that I'm missing the mark here somewhere? So I'm interested to hear your thoughts. So until next time, this is Reggie Padin, and thank you so much for joining the L&D Ninja Podcast. I will see you next time.